boom, bow, bow, bow. And introducing Michelle Rum. Oh, no, never mind.
What people don't realize is that I've taken every episode of Android Faithful that Michelle was on, and I've trained a LLM.
Oh, okay, good.
And I'm this
People
close.
love that.
And I'm this close to getting like like a Sora like animation thing. So we're gonna have a Michelle bot. And it's not really. It's like it's gonna be like more retrospective. Like it's all the learnings and stuff like that. But I think that based off what Michelle knew from the show, I can then take like the latest release and feed that into it and extrapolate what Michelle would have said.
Oh yeah,
to
totally.
It. Yeah,
Totally.
So,
yeah. Michelle didn't know this, but I've been monitoring all of his research practices for the last year in to track his possible departure from the show.
What he also doesn't know is that in his Android Faithful employment agreement, he gave us the rights to do this. So we're on the up and up. I had the lawyers look at it.
Okay, good.
There's really nothing he can do about it.
Let me ask the folks who are in chat. Am I the only one seeing Ron freeze every 2 seconds? Or are you?
Am I freezing every 2 seconds? Really?
It's like your video is super choppy. Coming to me. Could be me. It's like freezing for like 3 or 4 seconds and then snapping back into place.
Oh, no.
Maybe it's on my end. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Hook a podcast up. Let us know. Seems okay. I don't see it, Jason. Okay, so then it's on my end.
I mean, shall I do my internet speed test just for shits and giggles? Here we go.
Yeah, no, it was like your audio was fine, but it was your video. You're like this, and you'd slowly talking, and then it would catch up, and
I'm currently getting 894 down and 861 up.
Dang.
So
go ahead and brag, why don't ya?
The joys of Fios on the East Coast.
Jeez, no kidding. The stage.
So
joining. Hello, Flo.
I'm having some input issues, so we'll see how the show goes today.
What input are you issuing?
The issue is that I'm a Windows user.
Well, yeah, there's an issue. So
yeah, we're just gonna have to. Yeah, every time I wiggle my little power station a certain way, like it loses connection to all USB connected things, which is like so funny.
Oh, so
it's so funny.
Don't like that.
It's so funny.
Okay. All right, so I'm crackling again, says someone.
I don't hear the crackle. Are they hearing the crackle?
Oh, that's what Heat the Furnace says. I'm sick of the crackle. I'm so sick of the crackle.
I don't hear the crackle. I don't hear the crackle. Keep talking though.
All right, I'll keep talking. I'll see. Maybe the crackle will come. Crackle, crackle, pop.
See, the problem with the audio problems is that I have the worst ears out of all of us. So
yeah,
so that's why I never trust it. But
and I really clue into it. But the problem is I can't hear it when I crackle because I'm not hearing myself through the system. Yeah. So,
but I don't hear it.
Flo, I don't know.
I don't hear a crackle.
Yeah.
Okay.
A snap or a pop.
So he's saying the crackling is not there now. So there you go. So.
All right. Well,
Flo, you're loud though. I mean, aside from normal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me see. I can.
Okay. How about that?
Now you're soft.
Split the difference.
Okay. What about there?
A little more.
A little bit more.
How about there?
A little more.
How about there?
That's good.
Okay.
Talk a little more.
Every time I go on Twitch,
whoa.
Okay, yeah.
Now you're cutting in and out.
Sort of like this is a mic setting. This is an echo cancellation thing. Either I never know if it's echo cancellation or reduced background noise, but there's one of them that sometimes plays around and gets canceled out when other people are talking. Now talk.
Okay, I'm talking now.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Okay.
All right.
You know what's so weird, Jason, is that when Win is on, when the music is on, she cuts out.
She cuts out.
But it's only her.
Yeah, I've noticed that that's happened before. Does that happen regularly?
Yes, every time I edit the show and she does the intro.
Oh, that's no good. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, my understanding is that has something to do with
I heard a crackle.
The reduced mic background noise feature.
Yeah.
that's within StreamYard. So like that's what was happening with Flow. I eliminated that, unchecked that, and it's
So maybe we need to check that on. What is it? Wait, just so I know, what is the setting? I'm looking at it now.
Reduce mic background noise.
Reduce mic background noise. So we want that unchecked.
Unchecked.
So my assumption is we just want everything unchecked.
Yeah, I mean, echo cancellation is not. I've not found it to be awful. You can have that on, but if it's not necessary, then it's not necessary. Like if you're in a room with the door closed and you know, we've got nice mics and everything, so echo cancellation probably is not necessary.
I've been told I have a nice mic.
Yeah, I know that mic.
Yeah,
I know that mic.
My wife told me that once.
Thank you, Leo Laporte, for our microphones.
Yes, thank you. The legacy continues. Good to see you all. So Flo, while you were gone, I was filling the audience in on the fact that I'm slowly coding a Michal Rahman LLM, and also like gonna automatically animate it too. But it's gonna look like one of those like obvious robot, like from the 80s, like almost like a Jetsons robot, but it'll look like Michal, and it'll just be on the show. So
this is why we're gonna anyway.
This is why we need patrons to really step up and
exactly,
double and triple there.
Because listen, this is not cheap.
But this is this is also why I'm working on our policies as Android faithful.
This is why I've invested in a data center in Montana, because I'm burning a lot of energy.
Of all the states, you had to choose Montana.
I just randomly chose it. No.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm told. I've never been to Montana. Every yoga person has told me that it's like the best place to go for
Big sky.
Big sky country.
Listen, if you're a big fan of the sky, yes, and I am a big fan of the sky. I haven't seen the sky, by the way, in weeks, because my little hill up here in the North Bay has been covered in fog every single day. That's why I have this sad lamp right here, as you can see. Okay, I've been kind of sad. It's been really hard not being able to see 10 feet in front of me.
I definitely had one of those days today where I didn't leave the house.
Me too. Me too.
This reminds me of a San Francisco don't leave the house day because it's too foggy. Like I'm just cold. It's don't have any.
Hey, listen, you want to play that game? You want to play that game?
Let's go.
It is currently in New York right now. It is 19 degrees and feels like 7.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you.
So
listen, I'm from California. 50 degrees is very cold for me.
So currently right now in the forecast on Sunday, it'll be 18 degrees with a total precipitation of 11 inches. And on Monday, it'll be 23 degrees with 3 more inches coming. So really looking forward to that.
Did you hear the South is supposed to be getting snow on Saturday, by the way?
Florida got snow recently. It's crazy. Everything's just going upside down.
Well, we could just talk about the weather all day, honestly, because it's just so crazy.
I don't want to.
Talk about the weather.
Aye. Anyway,
or should we talk about the government? No.
You know, I can tell you guys how many times I've been dropping my phone. I've been so bad. I have a Pixel 10 Pro. Yeah, no, I'm for real.
I dropped my Pixel 10 Pro yesterday. I was taking my kid's temperature and I dropped it on the left-bound swipe. And
that's why they shouldn't have that feature.
No, the problem with me is that I'm a very cozy person. I walk with a blanket around me, usually around the house. And so when I'm sitting...
I should send you what I got Carrie for Christmas. I got her a blanket with sleeves. She loves it.
Oh, no, I have one of those too.
Yeah,
but I forget to put the phone in the pocket. I stand up and the phone goes tumbling on the ground.
That's the worst.
But this case I bought... Now, here's the thing. This is why I'm bringing it up. This is relevant to our audience, okay? This is called the Mouse Case, MOUS. This is an official Google Store case, $55. It's still, it's gross, but it has somehow managed to stay intact. And I kind of understand now why they want you to spend $50 on the official, like, sanctified case, because I'm afraid if I would have had like some AliExpress knockoff that I wouldn't have had. Like there's nothing on the phone. The phone is fine.
Yep.
Yeah, the cheap cases are better than absolutely nothing, but yeah, the more expensive cases really do.
I
protect
like.
you.
I didn't want to buy a $55 case. I was like, let me just try it. Let me just.
Yeah. So what
No.
you're saying, what I hear you saying is that Mouse is a brand that I should reach out to see if they want to sponsor Android Faithful.
That would be
That's
a
what
great
you're
idea. I
saying.
mean, look at this sleek green case. It's pairs so cutely with my little Bulbasaur pop socket. See, and it's see-through, so you could still see the coloring of the pixel that you chose.
All right. I'm picking up what you're laying down.
I have actually been really looking through. I was kind of hoping, Pixel 10 Pro, like finally we've had 10 generations of this. Like by now, case companies should really be considering Pixel users, right?
Right.
And it's still, it's better than it was like back in the Nexus days, let's say.
Yeah, for sure it is.
But it's still not as prolific as the iPhone case offerings.
No, it's not.
I would just like, and I don't know if this is an Ucatel or Ulefone or whatever one of these ones, but I don't know why we can't get phones that are like rubberized around the side. So like when you drop them, they bounce like my kids' balls or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's because the material is not the longevity of the material.
No, I know. No, I wasn't saying it seriously. You want to do a show? Let's do the show. Yeah. It's almost 8:15. Let's
Nobody wants me to give the real answer. That's okay.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm adding mouse.co to my little room, my little sponsor room. Okay. There we go.
There you go.
Now I know. I'll follow up with them. And if anyone knows someone at Mouse, let us know. Put me in touch.
We should say that at the top of the show, by the way. We really should.
Don't you think we maximize reach by saying it in our pre-show on our live stream on a YouTube channel? That's how we get maximum impact. We say
on the audio show, we should say it. We should,
I'm just kidding. No, Michelle has not announced his new mystery engagement yet, Clinton.
We really should make sure that we don't say it live on the show. I said it before the show. We started right here.
I don't know.
Or it was before we went live. Yeah. Okay, good. It's a good memory. Thank you, Clinton. I don't want to slip and say it. So,
No, you definitely don't.
Yeah.
Because we don't know. We actually
we have no idea.
Have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we do a show?
Let's do it.
It's going to be absolutely no surprise to anybody when they find it.
I think everyone is going to be surprised that he's going to work for Target.
You're right. Who would go work for the Minneapolis
or
big
Walmart?
kahuna?
I thought it was a strange pivot that Michelle always wanted to work in e-commerce, but
he just really wanted to live in.
He loves big box stores.
I get it. I get a big. Did you guys know Michelle's a huge Vikings fan? I had no idea.
Oh, I didn't know that. So, I didn't know that. Okay.
I was just going to make another joke, and I just stopped myself, and I'm really glad I did. So, in 2026,
I just wanted to show how much I knew about Minnesota, and that's not because of Brandon Walsh.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Let's see here. How does this work? I'm doing the intro.
Are you driving yourself, or do you want me to do
that's fine. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I could drive the car and talk at the same time. It's fine. All right, everybody. Stand by. Standing by. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show you've been waiting all day, all night, all week. Sometimes you might wait all month for this show and then realize there's like 4 of them that you got to catch up on. Welcome to the Android Faithful Podcast, your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the world of Android. I am one of your hosts, Jason Howell, joined by...
I'm Ron Richards, another host.
And Florence Ion. Hello, I'm back. I'm here.
Hey. And on the 4th camera, it's Michelle.
No, we bid Michelle adieu last week. If you listened to the entire show last week, you heard that we said goodbye to Michelle Ramon. If you didn't listen to the entire show last week and dropped off after hardware or apps, go back and listen to the rest of the show.
Yeah. And by the way, we didn't say goodbye because like he's like dying or anything. He's just
We're
Not
wishing him
great.
well. He's
God.
He's off on a new adventure, which he will reveal in his own time, and we're super excited for him. And we're sure he'll be back around these parts again in the future someday. So we're super excited. He also left Android Authority, which I saw he did his goodbye post on Threads and all the stuff like that. So we're super excited to see where he ends up.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, I'm super excited to be together with the two of you because here we are, it's 2026, and we find ourselves back to the original All About Android lineup.
That's true.
It's so far how you stray far and wide, and yet you come back home. So
Yep. That's
Yeah,
true.
sorry guys. I had that big hiatus in the middle where I went to go work a bunch of jobs
yeah, we all
and have a
gotta do it.
child. You know,
So it's all good.
Yeah. All that needless stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here we are. I think it's all summed up in the immortal words of Brokeback Mountain. I can't quit you. But
I
here
just
we are.
finished Heated Rivalry today, so no,
Yeah, I saw your
anyway.
story. I saw your story. about it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, Looking. I forgot about that show. I enjoyed that. I liked the show Looking on HBO because they filmed across the street from where I lived in San Francisco, and I was like, I know that building. But anyway, but yes, welcome. It's good to be back. The dust has settled from CES. We can talk about other stupid topics because there are a lot of them in the Android world this week, today especially. But hey, real quick, we were talking in the pre-show. Quick reminder to all you audio listeners, we record the show live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're ever looking for something to watch, you can head over to the Daily Tech News Show YouTube channel and Twitch channels. And those links are on our website and our socials, stuff like that. And you can watch it live if you ever want to do that. That's something you can do. You're invited to do that. And additionally, if any of you are listening to the podcast out there and you either work for a company or know of a company that would be a good match to advertise on this podcast, we take advertisers.
We're open.
Yeah, we are open. We are open for business. So email us at contact@androidfaithful.com. We'd be happy to send you. We have a lovely media kit that explains the show, that's got rates and all the stuff like that. 2026 is the year of Android Faithful. So
Making it.
advertisers, our arms are open. We do great ad reads. So bring it on.
It's true. It's true. We got a lot of really awesome people who have been following us literally for how long have we been doing this show now? 15, 16, 17 years if you count the
Just
two
about.
shows.
Yep.
I
mean that's longevity right there. So
It is.
get in touch with us.
And I will say, I don't know, all of these websites that track podcasts keep emailing us and telling us we're the #1 podcast. So I'm inclined to believe them. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you go
totally.
All right.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
am I to
with
say
it.
they're wrong?
If you go to Good Pods, they're like, congratulations, you're the #1 Android podcast. Okay, cool. So we'll take it. But yes, no, but in all honesty, we worked very hard in the show, and we thank our lovely supporters at patreon.com/AndroidFaithful. But we also would be welcome sponsors with open arms. So
Don't forget we have a
with you.
website
yes,
and a weekly newsletter.
yes,
both
we
of
are
which-
we are diversified up the wazoo. We go to events. We cover. We seriously, we could put together a lovely package for you. So
Yes.
yep. All right. With that said, why don't we get to the news?
Yeah. All right. You know what, guys? I do miss when we had bumpers. I'm not gonna lie.
I do. It was a nice little moment.
'Cause
Yeah.
it really
that-
it helped
that
my
did-
brain.
yeah.
Like,
Listen,
you know,
if
like,
you
all
are
right.
if you're a sponsor out there and you want to sponsor our bumpers, we can do that.
I mean,
If you're a graphic designer and you want to animate a bumper for us,
listen.
talk about going back to the well. We did that 15 years ago.
Yeah, I
right?
know, yeah.
I
Where's
know.
Jeff Kosmicki when we need you,
That's
Jeff?
what I was gonna say. Where
I
is
did talk to him
Cosmicki?
when we started at Android Faithful. I did talk to him. He was busy, but yeah. So maybe I'll go back to that. So
Well, I could tell you what's been really busy, which is that we've actually finally got some interesting news about how the holiday shopping season went, at least in terms of smartphones, that is. So worldwide smartphone market growth it's actually kind of small, about 2.3%. In the last quarter of 2025. But what's interesting are the models of phones that basically were put under the tree. Now, obviously, iPhone 17, that was like the most popular one in the United States. Good for you, Apple. You can
Go, good
continue
for
with that.
you.
Good for you. But over on the Android side of things, we've actually got a lot of Z Fold 7s that they had a pretty strong Q4. Apparently, this is some of the strongest growth they've had since 2013. And again, it's because of the foldables and not just the foldables, but also I guess the A series, which are usually those are the economical models. Usually they're like free with MVNOs, or they're just it's a good cheap phone to like give your kid if they're getting their first phone or whatever. So I can imagine that's what helped Samsung do so well this holiday season. Also, Xiaomi, Vivo, and Oppo overseas, they actually managed to retain their market positions, which is good news for them. Because I can tell you, since Apple went overseas, I've been watching the numbers really shifting. There is some trepidation over Apple going full blast into China, and it is selling very well there. But it's also good to see that our quote unquote other brands are also holding on to their thrones. So, well done, other brands.
I was excited to see the numbers, because I feel like since Q3, there's been like the Apple Samsung tug of war happening, right? Like Samsung lost to Apple, Apple's gaining ground, Samsung's gaining ground, and all this sort of stuff. And so this gives a little more kind of insight into what's going on in that marketplace. But Oppo, whatever, I don't want to say surging, but Oppo is making moves. It seems like.
This is so not important, but is there a reason that Vivo and Oppo are both 4 on here? Is that like they're tied, or was that just a typo?
Is that a typo?
Did I find a typo, IDC, in your report?
There's an asterisk. What does the asterisk mean?
IDC declares a statistical tie in the smartphone market when there is a difference of 0.1% or less in the shipments shares among 2 or more companies.
And there it is. Vivo had 27% and Oppo had 26.9%. So
we need a
tie.
tiebreaker.
Now, does Oppo include OnePlus?
Yeah, that's a good
and
question.
what else is Oppo? Isn't Oppo have multiple brands and additional OnePlus?
OnePlus, and is Realme part of it?
I think it's Realme.
It all blends together for me.
What is Oppo's brands?
Oh my gosh, Oppo is under BB.
Oppo, OnePlus, and Realme. Those 3. Which we're going to talk. We're going to talk about all of those brands tonight. So
they're getting
spoiler
a lot
warning.
of time today.
Yeah. Oppo, you can sponsor the show. No.
Actually, maybe Oppo can't sponsor the show. That would make it really hard to talk about Oppo and all of the Oppo things they were responsible.
Also, how is anybody going to buy your phones? Because most of our audience is American.
Yeah,
But yeah, that is all 3 of those brands. And I guess they're doing well. So Vivo. If you any no geo restrictions, anything, any options, on the table, would you get a Realme, a OnePlus, an Oppo, or a Vivo, or a Xiaomi phone?
I would get the Xiaomi iPhone Pro knockoff, the one with a display on the back.
Yeah.
That's a good choice. Yeah, I'd get the Xiaomi attachment camera.
That camera phone. One, the one that Mashal used to wear around his neck like a tourist.
No, you're thinking of the camera Xiaomi phone that actually looks like just a phone. I'm thinking of what I saw last year at Mobile World Congress, which is the Xiaomi phone where you attach the ginormous lens to it.
Right, yeah.
That would be fun.
For a telephoto shot with your smartphone.
I like that Oppo Find, the Find N5, whatever. That Oppo Find is pretty cool. But
yeah, they're foldable. I mean, they had the claim to fame of the thinnest foldable in 2025 before Samsung did.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting
indeed. Well, I'll tell you, one company you're not going to see on any charts like that anytime soon is ASUS. We actually talked about this on the first show of the year, because back on January 6th, because there was a rumor dropped or some revelation that ASUS had confirmed that they would not be releasing any smartphones in 2026, and there was some more reporting around that. That ASUS did confirm that there would be no more smartphones in 2026, and hinted that there might not be any smartphones from ASUS beyond 2026 as well. So there were some translations from quotes from their chairman, Johnny, I can't pronounce his last name, and basically just saying ultimately that they do not plan to release new phones in the future. He didn't confirm whether the phones are completely phased out, but he did acknowledge that was a possibility. They confirmed though that their existing phones will continue to receive software updates and warranty support. And they, made the suggestion that their future plans could include AI related projects and robotics and smart glasses because they go skate to where the puck is. But basically these kind of vague kind of references not only confirm that nothing in 2026, but also made it seem pretty bleak for beyond 2026. So if you were a big ASUS ROG fan or any other phones, don't get your hopes up there. So
the most recent quote, she said, and I don't know if this is a machine translated version of the quote. So say what you will. ASUS will no longer add new mobile phone models in the future. I don't know how directly that translates, but that seems to me, if that's true, more than just in the future this year. That's so. When I think of the gaming phone category, I mean the ROG phone is like the one to beat, right?
It's a leader, yeah,
right,
yeah.
So
but what we don't know is how well they sold it all, and how well they sold in comparison or in reference to ASUS's total portfolio.
Yeah,
this is a company that makes laptops and computers and other other things. It could just be bogging them down for all we know.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I doubt the Zen phone line was setting any records inside the company.
Right.
It never did.
Yeah. It was the dream that just kept.
They were fun. The
alive,
Pad phone, the Zen
sort of.
phone. It was fun to have Asus doing stuff here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I guess I'm sad about it, but their phones were so niche anyway.
Yeah.
That was not a mainstream phone that people were buying.
No, but when I think of the ROG phone, I'm like, yeah, that's niche, but that's a really popular niche, or at least gaming is a popular niche.
I mean,
so it's
ROG,
to me.
the Republic of Gamers, like their whole lineup, the laptops and components and everything is huge. It's a big brand, but I just don't think an Android phone.
Yeah.
That they have to keep the software update. It has to have its own like little development team to make sure the hardware is still consistent. And I feel like all the companies right now are, to borrow an unfortunate phrase, trimming the fat.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting when you look at the story that we just talked about from IDC about the market growing 2.3%. And yet there's
only a tiny bit. And I think only because, only a tiny bit.
Well, but I think the market has grown, but it's also grown kind of through consolidation into the bigger players. Right? Like you've seen the bigger players get bigger. Right. And you've seen the bigger players introduce more products and that sort of thing. You haven't seen any upstarts really. And that actually leads into our next story, which is so today is January 20th. We're recording this on the evening of January 20th. If you follow along into the world of Android and the world of mobile phones today, you probably saw a lot of the discourse and a lot of conversation happen in here. And a very inflammatory exclusive hit the web today by another website that reported that OnePlus was being shuttered by Oppo, and not through any reporting as far as I could tell, but through rather trying to connect the dots through various maneuvers, even though as I was scrolling the news in the past week, I saw numerous reports of the OnePlus 15T and the next OnePlus and I saw so many articles about upcoming OnePlus. But regardless, there was an article out there saying that OnePlus was being wound down by Oppo. And actually over at Android Central, Harish had a great article that kind of debunked this and just basically kind of, further read the tea leaves explaining that OnePlus isn't actually going away, but kind of, kind of analyzed what's going on and explained why they might not have as quite of a big of presence in 2026, as it seems as if Oppo is, I don't want to say restructuring or assessing OnePlus's presence in the marketplace. And, you know, and some of the kind of the indicators on this is the fact that, you know, the OnePlus 15 and 15R didn't really stand out as much as well as the Chinese counterparts. We didn't see, the Nord phones really having a big release. Little things like that. Harish over at Android Central actually talked to somebody at IDC who tried to make heads or tails of it, and they talked to Jatish Ubrani, who's a research manager of worldwide device trackers at IDC, and the question was whether there's any validity to OnePlus closing its doors, and Ubrani said, "I certainly haven't heard anything along those lines from the grapevine. However, given OnePlus's trajectory in the past few years, it would be plausible that Oppo is planning on winding down the brand. OnePlus's share has been declining, marketing spend seemingly dwindling, and it certainly has pivoted away from being the challenger brand that it set out to be when it first launched." And even in our conversations, we've seen that they have no plans for the Fold. We've seen the challenges they had with getting stuff through FCC approvals here. The launches have seemed to kind of be stumbling. It does seem like things in the world of OnePlus aren't as wonderful as we might hope they would be for a brand that we've grown to love having in the conversation. So what did you guys make of
Sony problem?
Well, I don't know if I ever loved Sony as much as I loved OnePlus.
Okay.
I never really liked any of the Sony phones. So putting the original article aside and the issues and the debate about the original article, which is a whole other conversation, what do you think of this position that OnePlus is not well in OnePlus land?
I mean, if the writing's on the wall. This whole OnePlus 15 release that they did, it was just kind of like meh, and they did it right at the change from the holiday to the new year, after everybody sort of locked in to the kind of like phones that they wanted to buy. They're not really positioning anything in a way that is really competing with what's out there right now and what people want. And the whole thing about the marketing is a real bummer, because I think part of the reason is that their marketing, they don't have any. Like these phones work at all the major carriers in the US, but
they work really well.
Nobody knows
in the
this
US.
brand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get them through Best Buy. As far as like, brands, kind of incumbent, up and coming brands, which I don't even know if you can qualify OnePlus as an up and coming brand at this point. They've been around long enough, but at least you can get them in stores like Best Buy versus just purely online. So to that end, they've worked themselves into the kind of the consumer marketplace.
I mean,
a little bit deeper than some
but
of those alternative brands, but not quite where they need to be.
But Jason, I went to Best Buy for fun the other day, also because
Who goes to Best Buy for fun?
Did you go to buy a Nintendo plushie or some of the other things that aren't electronics that they sell there now?
Bathroom. I went to go use the bathroom because it's right next to Rasputin's, which doesn't let anybody use the bathroom. And when you're done CD shopping, you got to go. Anyway, so I went in there, and also I like to go in there and see like what the displays are. Again, Best Buy has like the Clicks display, Garmin, all these brands, Pixel, Apple.
Yep.
Don't see anything for OnePlus. I'm just saying. Michael Fisher has a bigger presence at Best Buy. Okay.
Yep.
That's
okay.
Not doing anything about marketing money.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely fair enough.
So
It'll
be a bummer because OnePlus stood for so much of the potential of the Android platform, and that you could take the operating system and you could put money into it as a manufacturer, and you could make phones that were different, and you could do things that were different, and you could have such a presence.
Hold on, they're not dead yet. I feel like you're speaking about it in past tense.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm just speculating. Well, you were just saying the writing's on the wall, Flo. You were saying in support of it.
The writing is on the wall that Oppo is scaling back the kind of like money that it's giving, not necessarily that they're going to be shutting this down.
Right.
Yeah. I have a hard time believing that they're totally shutting this down and that we're going to see that imminently. But, there's 3 different brands under the same umbrella, and so much of the IP is like shared
but only
between
one
them.
of them has the licensing and the market status to be in North America, and that's OnePlus.
Yeah.
So
And there's value in that. There's absolute value.
There is value to that.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
I would have a hard time like foreseeing that OnePlus completely goes away.
But they could be recasting it. So,
yeah. Could be.
So,
Could be.
We will see. We'll keep an eye on it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Could do. Could do.
I mean, we love them. We will keep an eye on them, right? Because we want to see them succeed. So
I mean, they're one of the few brands that I would say I've personally, really been championing and curious about as they go along. They've had their missteps.
I want them to lean into the enthusiast. I want them to be like, remember the Nexus? It doesn't exist anymore, but we do.
Yep.
Just
is that enough?
Go for it.
Is the enthusiast small subcategory of broad users, is that enough?
No, I agree. Some Google branding would help, because I think that's still what kind of, I know we talk about like Samsung being this big player, yada yada, but come on guys, without like the Google branding, do we know how far they would have made it?
How far would they have made it without? That's a good question.
Good question.
Google, speaking of Google, finally rolled out a feature that was first announced at Google I/O last year. If you remember, they teased something around bringing your Google kind of personal information, which is immediately going to have some people being like, hell no. But all of your Google kind of accounts and different things into the Gemini experience. It is called Personal Intelligence. It is out now, and if you don't have access to it already, I mean, you should. It should be integrated, at least here in the U.S. I don't know about other markets,
I got it.
But definitely in the U.S. Yeah.
Yep.
Photos, YouTube Music, Gmail, search, integrated into Gemini. I like how they treated the opt-in kind of aspect of this. You don't simply say, yes, I opt in, and now suddenly everything is included. You have controls over which of all of the properties actually get included. So if you only feel comfortable with your photos library being included, nothing else, no search, no Gmail or whatever, you can do that. Or you can go whole hog and open it all up with everything. But yeah, it integrates all that stuff into Gemini. So you get kind of more personalized context, personalized results that can interplay from within the Gemini chatbot.
So I signed up for it. I haven't had a chance to play with it, but I linked it to all my stuff, and then I was immediately reminded of the challenge and my one critique of Google and Gemini and Google accounts, which is, as somebody with, let's count them right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 active Google accounts that I.
Which one do you connect it to?
And my Gemini is connected to my Origin account, which is my secret one that I don't use for primary email or booking anything. From the Gmail aspect, it is completely useless and stupid. But it's got all my photos, and it's got my YouTube music history. So at least I got that, and it's got my search intelligence. I just wish I could also tell Gemini to connect it to this email account to get all of my, or these two email accounts to get all of my, email history and transactions to make it truly smart. That's the one thing I wish I could have. I know, Flo, you haven't been a fan of Gemini lately, but I have got a Gemini story that's going to be coming out on the website soon, which I'll save it, that we'll talk about in the story. But let's just say I had a wonderful journey with Gemini recently.
I'm so happy for you.
That was
that you both have been getting along so nice.
That was both amusing and helpful, and funny as hell. And I just needed time to
meet cute.
Write it up for no, it wasn't a meet cute, but it was very funny. But it was funny because it actually showed when you invest time. What I found was when you invest time in using it, it resurfaced information from other conversations. Like I finally broke through some of the potential of it, and I'll talk about it more in a future show.
Okay.
But yeah. So, and this is before Personal Intelligence, so it was before they came out. So, So that's a tease for you. So
I like the tease. Also a tease. Go to my YouTube channel because I tested.
Your video on this was so good, Jason.
It was very good. Yeah.
Awesome. You posted it in the morning, so I was like listening to you while like brushing my teeth and getting my face ready for the day. Yay. And I got all the information I needed just from your video. Like
I was so
boom,
happy.
boom, boom. This
I
is how it works.
had early access on it. I felt so special.
Ooh.
So I
was
had the
kind of
ability
like,
to,
Jason
put it
got
all together.
access. Whoop.
I know. I was so excited. But yeah,
Very
it's cool. The same criticisms are going to follow a feature like this, and especially a feature like this. Like, you're literally saying, I feel so comfortable with Google's, kind of control and access of my information that I'm willing to start feeding it into the Gemini experience. And, that's only going to appeal to a certain amount of people. At this point, I kind of just believe that my privacy in all of these, these apps and services is pretty shot. So, and I do this for a living, so I'm okay to take the hit for everyone else. But I understand if people are like, I don't want to go there. And the good news is you don't have to opt into it if you don't want to go there. So there you go.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
And you use Gemini for other utilities.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right.
Okay.
So that's the latest in Gemini, and that's the latest in the news. But before we move on, there was one more news story that was chosen by you, the listeners. In fact, specifically our loyal patrons over at patreon.com/AndroidFaithful, because every week our supporting patrons get to vote on a news story for us to discuss on the show. And they can do that over at patreon.com/AndroidFaithful. And in fact, that is highlighted by a bug droid image that is last week I put out the call and several of you responded. And I will continue to put out the call. Email us at contact@androidfaithful.com if you would like to send in a bug droid image to be utilized in the patron news pick. It can be AI generated. It doesn't have to be AI generated. We've gotten one non-Gen AI bug droid artwork. If you're an artist out there, please send us your original non-AI art or send your Gen AI art. It's fine. This week's artwork comes from Kyle V, who knows that pandering to me is the way to get on the show.
Yes, indeed.
And if you go to patreon.com/AndroidFaithful, this is in the free and clear. You don't need to be a member to see it, but he sent an image of our lovely bug droid crossing the finish line at a Disney marathon, or a marathon, as Gemini misspelled it. And the bug droid is with the Magic Kingdom in the background and all these people cheering behind him, and he's wearing an Android Faithful t-shirt. It was very cool. And this harkens to the fact that I ran the Disney half marathon 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago.
Not wearing an Android Faithful t-shirt.
Not wearing an Android Faithful t-shirt. No, I was wearing a Mickey shirt. Nonetheless, but yeah, so you can see that over at patreon.com/AndroidFaithful. And this week's news stories that you could choose from, the losing article was the fact that Google equated Gemini's gradient design to 1984's Smiling Macintosh. That only got 16% of the vote. Coming in in second with 30% of the vote was the fact, a piece over, I believe, at Android Police, that minimalist phones are finally worth buying, and it's all thanks to this one change. And you're not going to find out what that one change was. You're going to have to tune in to the After Hours show for subscribing patrons to find out when we talk about that story. But the winning story was a think piece highlighted titled "Why Your Next Smartphone Will Be Significantly Pricier, and It's Not Just Inflation." And this got 54% of the vote. And I thought this story was really interesting because we haven't really touched on it on the show. In fact, and I actually got this question over the holidays from friends, and I was actually surprised because we haven't touched on it. Maybe we talked about it on a show I wasn't on, but it pretty much speculates that smartphone prices are going to increase due to the chip shortage that is being experienced in 2025, of which the ramifications will be felt in 2026. And essentially, smartphones, at least budget smartphones, are due to the cost of DRAM and I'm not NAND or NAND flash RAM costs are going to see costs go up 20 to 30%. In the bill of materials for budget smartphones, and flagship smartphones are basically expected to see a 6.9% to 12% increase in MSRP, mainly driven due to the cost of AI chipsets. And then this is in addition to the fact that laptops are going to see 4 to 8% increases due to DDR5 RAM price spikes. And, it kind of goes on and on. Gaming PCs, you're going to see up to 15% of the total build cost going up due to a 500% increase in high-end RAM kits. And it's the kind of thing where it's supply and demand. And if there is a RAM shortage that's being driven by the AI boom or not, or whatever, it's going to have waterfall effects, and it's going to affect every aspect of the consumer electronics industry, and it's going to hit the phone industry at some point. And so, I'm curious, I'm sure Jason and Flo, you guys have been looking at this topic. I'm curious what your thoughts are in terms of what the impact is going to be, especially as we're heading into Mobile World Congress and as we get into the 2026 phone rollout period. Are we going to start to see the flagship price jump from $1,000 to $1,200? Are we going to see the mid-range price jump from $500 to $700? Is a budget smartphone no longer going to be $300, now $500, and it's purely going to be from this RAM increase? And once those prices go up, will they ever come back down?
I mean, from the RAM increase, from the RAM pricing increase, from the tariff threats, blah, 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 all the things that we're talking about right now. I think I saw that Andy Jassy, CEO of Amazon, made some comment sometime in the last couple of days, just basically saying the pre-tariff kind of collection of things at Amazon. I realize this is only tangentially related, but I think it's part of the same story, that they've kind of started to reach the end point of the kind of pre-stock that they had leading up to where we are right now, where you might actually start to see impacts from these threats on current and future stock. And maybe that has the same kind of impact on smartphones. Sure, I think prices probably are going to go up a tad. I'm also very thankful about the fact that smartphones are so incredibly capable now that maybe this will be a reason for people to hold on to their phones a little bit longer and not feel like they have to upgrade, because we have phones that will last longer, that are guaranteed for longer, that have better battery that's lasting longer, which we're going to talk about later. It's a good moment for the tech that's inside of these things. So if that's going to impact the cost, I suppose it couldn't come at a better time, or probably could, but you know what I mean? It's not a horrible time for that to happen.
It's a good moment for everyone to prove themselves, because now we need these phones to really last through this as we sort of wait this out, because I think eventually what's going to happen is this overt demand for AI has to die down at some point. At least when it catches up. Well, at least when it catches up to all the people that are making investments in it and are not seeing a return on their investment, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And when that happens, then everybody kind of stops freaking out. Things aren't moving as quickly because there's no false rush to get this all going. So hopefully, we've had to deal with this in the PC world with components fluctuating in price. So of course it's going to hit smartphones.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Especially now that we have a lot of RAM in our little phones. So
yes.
And you're getting a lot more taxing processes on these phones. They're moving, with the AI and all this sort of stuff, you're moving a lot more stuff on device, and not only the RAM piece of it, but the AI chipsets and stuff like that. And while, this is all under the umbrella of, kind of RAM increases, it's really chip increases. It's and they're all kind of under the same, category. And they're getting more and more complicated. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to keep an eye on it and hope for the best. And Jason, maybe you're right. Hold on to that phone another year. Maybe you don't need you might not, with the exception of the Honor Robot AI phone, I see no reason why you need to upgrade your phone in 2026.
Okay, Robot iPhone, that's a tertiary phone. That's a tertiary device. Okay.
Listen, I know it's a gimmick phone, but I do love a good gimmick. All right. Well, that was the patron pick for this week. If you are a patron, stay tuned. Keep an eye on your patrons only feed. You can get the Android Faithful After Hour show, where we'll talk about the two other stories that didn't get voted on, that didn't win in the vote, as well as some other news stories that didn't make the cut for the show. And you can only get that by signing up on patreon.com/AndroidFaithful. And in fact, we want to thank some of our supporters this week. We want to thank Edward Salter, Ralph Basile, and Simon Parker coming at us from the UK for supporting us over on Patreon. And thank you. And you can get a shout out too if you head over to patreon.com/AndroidFaithful, sign up. You get an ad-free version of the podcast feed, audio feed. You get access to that after-hour show. You get some sweet merch like a mug or a sticker or a t-shirt depending on your sign-up level. If Patreon's not your thing, you can always go over to AndroidFaithful.com and sign up. And you get all those. You get access to the ad-free podcast. You get no ads on the website. We get whatever you need. We got you covered. If you've got any questions, always email us at contact@AndroidFaithful.com. If you don't want to support us, make sure you go to AndroidFaithful.com and sign up for the newsletter that Flo puts out every Friday because it is fantastic. And we thank everybody for your support. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about hardware. I don't know why I just went high-pitched, but I did. Hardware gets me excited. We'll be back in a moment. All right, we are back. So Flo, it didn't take long, but it's happened.
No, it didn't take long until this happened. But I mean, are we surprised? Because when there are moving parts, they are apt to break, especially when they are moving screens. We are, of course, talking about the Galaxy Z Trifold display. So it's already broken on one of the people who were the first to buy it. The Z Trifold does look really incredible in person, as many people have said. Even Jason has seen it and can attest to its wonder. But it's also kind of bring up the question of durability, especially something with two hinges instead of one. And of course, one early Galaxy Z Trifold buyer has already had their display spontaneously break. And we're not surprised by it because this is what happened in the first 1 and 2 generations of the original Z Fold. So it's just the kinks being worked out, eh? So in a post on Samsung's forums, an early Galaxy Z Trifold buyer said that their display had failed and that it showed a broken line of pixels across the leftmost segment of the foldable display. That's a bummer. And then there's a clear area where the panel had gone dead towards the top of the display with a white line of failing pixels below that. If you are in the subreddits, different forums where people talk about their foldables, you have seen this imagery before of a dead phone. It's sad.
By the way, and just not to interrupt, I'm sorry, Flo, but we're... So if you're watching the video version, you can see the image of the screen that the person is reporting.
Mm-hmm.
For our audio listeners, you see the 3 panels. The person must have an image of Pikachu as their background or something like that. But it's like an abstract version. I think it's just like his ear or something like that. And at first glance, I thought this was all their wallpaper was all broken panel. And I was like, oh my God, this is awful. And then I realized like, oh no, they're just talking about this one thin white line down here, from the vertical side of it. It's not just
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So anyway,
I mean, this reminds me like of live so long through this life. Thank you. And it reminds me, I can't stop thinking about the PSP when I think about this PlayStation Portable for the uninitiated, because there was that problem where the first batch of devices had dead pixels, and even my device that I had first bought had dead pixels on it. I had to end up like trading it in for something with all the pixels. And so when you're spending that much on a device too, like to the Trifold being, $2,500, you don't want the display panel to have a big line through it. That's not what you paid for.
No. It would be a collector's edition, You'd be the only one, maybe. Or maybe not, actually.
You should okay. This dude should auction it, like the first broken Trifold.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Yeah. Totally.
So the device was only a month old, and the owner's next question, they're asking themselves like what to do next, because Samsung doesn't offer insurance on the Trifold. So... And that's always the thing about these first generation phones that, Samsung's like, oh, our fans come and buy our stuff. But like they come with these caveats. Mm-hmm. And so Samsung includes apparently 50% off of the cost of a Trifold display repair as a one-time perk of buying the device. That still costs around, so it's 1.3 million won, which is just shy of $900 USD. So... that's kind of a bummer. We would presume that stuff would usually fall under warranty, but then again, this isn't technically an established product. So can you put a warranty or offer a warranty on a product that isn't fully baked?
I mean, you can. I mean, that's a company choice.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's
right?
true.
If you believe in the product, you can.
Sure they can.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
That's a choice they made not to.
Yeah.
As Flo purses her lips at me, and
Sony gave me a new unit. I'm just saying.
Right. They chose to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Which ingratiated me for life with them. Even when their smartphones were subpar, I said, you know what? God bless Xperia.
You were the only person to say that, too.
I was the only person to say that. Don't say that to Juan Bagnell.
I'm just kidding, Juan.
Yeah.
I saw Juan at CES, by the way, like in person. It was awesome.
I saw the photos. I was jealous. Yeah.
It was awesome. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not used to seeing you in person. Many times online in digital form. Hopefully my audio is better. Sorry. Every single episode that I do, apparently my audio interface, whatever I'm using, this is the third one and it's doing this. So I don't know what the heck's going on. So hopefully it's better. Honor triple threat. Let's talk about Honor for a little bit because there's 3 different ways that we can talk about them. First and foremost, we can talk about their latest smartphone, the Magic 8 Pro Air, which if you're watching the video version, you might say to yourself, that looks a lot like the iPhone Air. And you know what? You would be right. It kind of does. It's got that orangey color that's apparently trendy and in right now. It's yeah, definitely. It's got the slim factor, although it's not slimmer than the iPhone Air. The iPhone Air 5.6 millimeters. This is 6.1 millimeters, so slightly thicker. But better battery. You get 5,500 milliamp hour silicon carbon battery. So that's going to last you far more than a day for sure. Probably a day and a half, not close to 2, depending on how heavily you're using it. 155 grams, 6.31 inch QHD plus AMOLED display capable of 6,000 nits of peak brightness. But I think the real story here is, wow, that looks like an iPhone. Like the current crop of iPhone. It's really heavily modeled after a current crop of iPhone.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Weren't Android brands always doing this, though?
Yeah, totally. They are.
Yeah.
They all do this.
Yep.
They all chase the iPhone. Will Saddleberg, friend of the show, says on this that this phone is borrowing from all different models of the iPhone, of the current crop of iPhone. Little pieces from all of them into one giant iPhone Frankenstein sandwich. That wasn't his words. That's just my interpretation.
But also, this is the market. That's the marketplace too. Isn't image everything? And so you have what is considered, hot. So make it look like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
for sure. Second up on the Honor roll. You like that? Honor is the latest smartphone company to do the attach a monstrous lens to the body thing. There it is. That doesn't look strange.
If you ever wanted an appendage, here you go, folks.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. The Magic 8 RSR Porsche design model smartphone. Maybe we'll see this at Mobile World Congress.
Wait, they teamed up with Porsche on this?
Yeah. Yes, that's.
What does Porsche have to do with camera lenses and photography?
I don't know, but here it is.
I mean, this isn't the first time that we've seen Porsche and all these other high-profile brands, right? Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, but the camera lens, it's like a Porsche phone, fine, but just the camera, I'm wondering.
Yeah, it looks like I'm looking at this, and it's more than just a lens that attaches to the lens, right? Like it's a long, sticky, or like extending, lens, but it fastens to what appears to be like a camera case that you put onto your phone. And I think my thing, even though I fully realized earlier, I said the phone that I would like to get in person is the Xiaomi one that does this. But as I look at these things, I think what's weird to me, which doesn't work for my brain, is you still need to carry around the lens and the case along with your phone to do this thing, which is not much different than just carrying around a camera that has this thing already attached to it. So what do you get out of this that you don't just get out of carrying around a separate camera. You know what I mean? Like
The you get a very easy photo to share on Instagram.
yeah, to
You
be
don't
like,
have to
hey,
edit.
check this out.
And you get a very odd looking thing that people will point to and be like, what is that?
Yeah. Like I go back to Mobile World Congress when I was there a year ago, and I went to I think it was the Realme booth, because they had one of these bad boys.
Mhm.
And literally the phone came out in like a big like hard shell case, like here. And granted, that might just be because it's prototype or because they wanted it to look exclusive and glamorous and everything. But when they opened it up, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of extra space for stuff that wasn't stuffed in there. There was one portion for the lens. One portion of the cutout was for the like adapter that connects it to the phone. The other was the phone. Like, it took up all that space. And I'm like, I'm never going to walk around with that case, like with all this stuff. I can just throw a camera around my neck. Like, that's easy. So anyways. Oh, Morbius, that's a good question. I do have that image from last week's episode. I'll have to see if I can get that before the end of the show, from the flashback camera. Anyways, that's off topic. Number 3 on our story is just a quick mention. While I was in Vegas, Honor flew me out to the Grand Canyon on a helicopter. Here I am standing in the Grand Canyon. You don't see the helicopter, but you do see the canyon. And while I was there, I got to do a camera shoot out of the Honor Magic8 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. You can go to AndroidFaithful.com and read my full write-up on the AF site. I would say my Cliff's notes on this is I was surprised at how close they were in a lot of scenarios. The S25 Ultra, I would say, got a little bit of the edge in the deal, less susceptible to these like little shakes and vibrations that happened while I was in the helicopter. Definitely noticed that. Bit more detail in HDR scenarios, but very, very capable. And yeah, there you go. Go to the site. You can see
Which one won?
Well, like I said, I think the S25 Ultra wins. But it's a close match between the two.
Yeah.
You know.
Wait a minute. Ultra's on the left?
The Ultra is on the left. The Honor Magic8 Pro is on the right.
Definitely more of a fan of the Samsung algorithm. Just looking at these, head on. Like,
I didn't realize our galleries don't click out to full size when I posted it.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, believe me, man.
I actually have a special HTML block for that, by the way.
All right, we'll talk about it offline.
Okay.
All right.
No, let's air all of our laundry on this show for everyone.
Just in case people think we don't think about stuff behind the scenes.
We have CMS complaints, like the whole 9 yards.
We're running an operation here.
Yeah. All right, and our last bit of hardware goes back to we were talking earlier how we were going to talk about Realme, and here we are. This is the Realme, guys. The Realme I want to share. The Realme P4 Power is confirmed to launch next week, and it's got a whopping 10,001 milliamp battery in a very Spinal Tap approach to its battery.
That is pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, it is. The company confirmed in a social media post that it's going to debut in India on January 29th. As we mentioned, Realme is one of Oppo's brands. In addition to a 10,001 milliamp battery, it's got a triple rear camera, a 6.78 inch AMOLED display. It's going to be available in trans blue, trans orange, and trans silver. I don't know why they're trans, but there they are.
Trans rights.
And it's running Realme UI 7.0, and they promise to receive 3 years of OS and 4 years of security updates. So if you're a Realme fan and you don't want to have to charge your battery for a very long time, this may be the phone for you. And you're in India, even better. So there you go.
I wouldn't care if it was 10,000. That extra one, though, puts me right over the edge. Yeah. I want this phone.
I want this phone and that
I want
one
this phone and that
milliamp.
1 milliamp hour. That's why. It's probably the best 1 milliamp hour. I mean, there's like an astronaut flying into the one that's there. I don't think
can you zoom into that on the screen there? Is that zoomable? Can you zoom?
Can I? I should be able to. You'd think I'd be able to, but no. I apparently
okay, sorry.
Hold on. I might have had the wrong. Okay, there we go. Yeah, see?
Oh.
Astronauts flying into the one. I don't think that's an accident.
Yeah, I don't think so
That's
either.
interesting. What?
I don't know.
Astronaut flying into the one. What
Yeah.
kind of marketing story do you think was happening behind the scenes when this got pitched?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
Astronaut going into the one.
I mean, I do authentically want to know, like, why that is. That just mathematically how it happened to land, and they're like, oh,
Right.
okay.
Like, is it mathematically for a reason, or
is it a
just there
science
for
thing?
goals?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the
Is it
capacity.
science or is it marketing?
I hope it's marketing. I hope they're like, no, let's just add one. Let's just add one more. To
Because
it.
if so, wow, it totally worked. Here we are, just proof of that. We're talking about it. Real quick before we move on, can I show y'all something?
Sure.
Yeah.
Here's the image from last week.
So for our audio listeners, it is a photo. It is a selfie photo of Jason reacting.
It's with the flashback camera from last week, the disposable, not disposable camera.
That's awesome.
That's what developed after.
Hey, that's
24
kind of
hours.
cool.
Yeah, there were others. Yeah, I can't zoom in on. Oh, there's
What
a
would a
good one.
flashback camera?
Yeah, see this is authentic too. This last one, because I was so close to the camera that the flash totally whited out my face.
No,
and you
I
can't
love
see
that so
any
much.
bit of
I love
detail.
it.
It's very throwback.
I love it.
There you go.
I
All right,
love it.
now we've closed the loop on that thing.
Indeed, the loop has been closed. So and also the hardware loop is now closed. And we're gonna take another quick break and come back with some app news for you.
All right, coming back from the break for some app news. Suddenly I can't talk, but you know what? I've done a lot of talking today, so forgive me. What should we talk about first? Well, how about... Am I doing things right here? I don't even know anymore. There is Magic Q. Okay, so on your Pixels, have you used Magic Q? Has it come up for you guys very much?
No, I turned it off because
Turn
it
it off,
wasn't
you're-
working.
They rolled it out and it didn't work, and it went away, and then it was back, and I got a prompt that was like, use Magic Q, and I went in my settings to make sure it was turned on, and it was turned on, but then I've run into the problem where it's not hooked up to the email account that has any information about me, so I never get any prompts.
Oh, so you never get anything.
Yeah. So
I mean, I've gotten some things here and there. So it is appearing more for me. I have yet to have that situation where it appears and I'm like, magical. That's exactly what I wanted. But I am
Magic
seeing it a
Q.
little more. That's the exact thing that I was hoping for, Magic Q. Thank you. But there are hints that more integrations are coming, potentially Google Wallet and Tasks. The real story is we don't actually know what those integrations are going to be. All we know is that a Redditor was able to get those two things to appear on the app's settings page for Magic
How
Q,
nice for them.
which kind of illustrates that, hey, you know, Magic Q integrates with all of these things, and now it will integrate with Google Wallet, will integrate with Tasks. Though, again, they weren't able to get it to demonstrate anything, so there's no clue as far as like how it would integrate. But you could speculate based on the way it integrates with other things, you know, possibly with Google Wallet, real-time updates on flights, events, passes, tickets in Wallet. Maybe those, you know, appear at the right moment, or connecting tasks and calendar together, which is something that apparently can't be done quite yet. So that sort of stuff. But I'm curious to hear from folks who watch and listen. If you have a Pixel and you're getting these Magic Q features, is it living up to the Google I/O hype? Because Magic Q is definitely one of those features that when it was presented, it was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder how useful that's going to be. And I'm going to go ahead and say that so far it has not been useful for me. But
it has not.
I
it
see
has
the
not
potential.
delivered. That was the big, like, I remember after Google I/O, there was a lot of, especially with the folks we talked to with Google, they're like, have you tried Magic Q? Use Magic Q. And there was like all these problems with getting it to work and all this sort of stuff. And then it kind of quietly, they're like, well, we're going to look at it and see how it's doing. And, you know, so. Yeah. So if you had success with Magic Q, if you've had that aha moment, email us, let us know at contact@androidfaithful.com. We want to hear from you, for sure. Well, talking about Flo's favorite AI, Gemini, they're just, rolling out features left and right. And now in the Gemini app on Android, they rolled out a feature that gives you faster answers, which is great because one of my true complaints about using Gemini on my phone is the wait for an answer. And so they've got an answer now button, which actually skips the whole deep thinking process and gives you a quick reply, which is pretty great. Now that said, you are sacrificing going through deep thinking, right? You are sacrificing potentially getting, having the full depth and breadth of its knowledge being accessed, but you are getting a fast response. So, you can choose your model wisely and choose what kind of moment you need a response for. But sometimes when you're asking a dumb question that you don't need deep thought for, getting an answer now is better off than having to go through the whole, processing and going through and accessing the deep thinking model and all that sort of stuff. So it's nice that it's getting, it seems like this is probably feedback they've gotten. It seems like they're being responsive to it. So I'm glad to get an answer now button when you want those answers quickly. So
yeah, and actually I probably could have mentioned this earlier because this was a direct feature inclusion right around the same kind of feature set as personal intelligence. This was kind of part of that feature rollout. Connected, but also kind of on its own. So, yeah, I mean, not everything that you put through these systems needs to have a deep, research or deep thinking component to it. Sometimes it's a pretty easy, quick answer. And now you have the ability to decide that for yourself.
And also, let's keep in mind that we all have very short attention spans and are impatient. So,
what?
In this economy, I mean, listen.
I love that camera, Jason. I love that camera so much.
This camera's going to have 27 pictures over the course of 27 episodes of Android
of you
Faithful.
doing the show.
I just asked my husband for one, so I want one.
That's awesome. Love it. All right. Flo, you got one more for us.
Yeah, we've got a final. It looks like this should have just been called the Gemini block because we've just got a bunch of new stuff happening with the AI. So apparently Google's rolling out a significant redesign and modernization of search, voice search specifically on Android, which is good news because previously it was very confusing jumping between Google search and Gemini at the same time. I don't think this is going to help, but voice search can be accessed from the home screen widget, including the Pixel launcher, which I no longer use, by the way, or any Google search capitalized bar, not capitalized, inside the app. Google search is the brand, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
Specifically talking about Google search. The query is then handled specifically by Google search with a standard results page opening. And then the answer is spoken out loud, kind of similar like if you were in a Gemini style conversation. So the redesign, sorry, I was reading you the current design because I didn't read ahead. The redesign actually centers the G gradient instead of it centers the G gradient and is flanked by a back button and 3-dot overflow menu. Okay. So there's going to be 3 buttons up on top. There's going to be the back button on the left, there's going to be the G in the middle, and then there's going to be the overflow menu on the right. And so when you tap on that, that's going to take you to voice settings. And that's where you will set your language, where you will enable or disable spoken results, and where you will choose between 4 voices: Cosmo, Nesso, Terra, or Cassini. Dark theme has also gotten updated. So this is all I'm actually going off of 9 to 5 Google's reporting on this because they had some really good side-by-side screenshots of kind of how things used to look and how they look now. The prompt is still going to note that Google is listening with the same face illustration as before, but you'll see the little Gemini arc, which, by the way, if you've got Gemini and Android Auto, you will see this arc also pop up. So this is kind of now the universal symbol across the Google product line.
It's that
kind of let you
gradient.
know Gemini is engaged.
It's that gradient we were talking about earlier that they think is as iconic as Apple.
Iconic.
I think it is.
Well, save it for the after show. Whatever. We're going to talk about it in the after show. So yeah.
Okay. There's also a search a song button now. It's larger than it used to be, and it takes you to a whole song search UI that invites you to play, sing, or hum the song that you're trying to figure out.
Wow. Okay.
No more globe animation. So something to keep in mind.
Why
this
do I
has
need
started
that?
rolling out.
Why do I need that if my phone tells me that to me on my lock screen? See, this is why you need Pixel. It
Yeah,
just
the now
does that
playing
on my-
widget, right? Yeah.
I mean,
I love the now playing
Yeah.
widget. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you've come around on that. I thought that you didn't like it.
Oh no,
for a
I've always
while.
loved that. That's fantastic. Yeah, I
Oh,
always have it
okay.
going. Yeah, I get mad when it
guys,
doesn't.
I took it further.
I get mad when it doesn't pick up the song.
I took it further. I set up my now playing. Now it scrobbles anytime it hears something. So I've been scrobbling
Wow.
music I hear in the grocery store. I've been scrobbling music I play.
Wow.
I've been doing double scrobbles on some stuff.
Orwellian music tracking. So, all right.
Been scrobbling since 2004. I'm not going to stop now.
Yeah. That should be a t-shirt.
Cool. All right. Anything else on voice search, or is that it?
That's it. That's it for voice search.
All right. Well, real quickly, I'm pulling an Audible, and I added one more story
Okay.
before we go into email.
I noticed. Yes.
Sorry, Jason, because I
It's all
totally
right.
forgot that it slipped through. I know we were talking a lot about it a couple of months ago, but Nova Launcher, it lives. It's got a new owner. I know there was a lot of Sturm and Drang back in September and stuff like that when Branch Metrics, who had previously purchased Nova, had basically the original Nova founder had left and announced that there was no meaningful development work being done and all that sort of stuff. Well, a new company, not a new company, but a Swedish company, InstaBridge, has now acquired Nova Launcher from Branch Metrics, and InstaBridge has promised not to reinvent Nova Launcher, but they are exploring monetization options, and they might possibly add ads in the free version of the launcher, which is fine. Android Authority is being annoying about that, but it gets a new owner and ads, but they need to monetize it. And actually the latest Nova Launcher version contains code for Facebook ads and Google Ad Mob trackers, as well as strings for ad integration. So, the question is whether or not, if you love Nova Launcher, do you want it to still live and have ad support for a free version? I think that's a fair trade-off, but you Nova Launcher lovers, it continues to roll on now with a new owner. So there it is.
Nova Launcher. Okay. I wonder what Barry's doing now. What's Barry doing?
Hopefully he's doing something else. All right.
Almost
so
certainly doing something else.
Yeah, I assume something. At this time of night, he's probably watching TV. All right, so that's going to wrap up our app news, and time to hear from you, our listeners, via the emails. We love to hear from you, and this week we heard from one of you, and so we want to encourage everybody to remind you to email us at contact@androidfaithful.com. You can write us in about your observations, your responses to what we talk about, your thoughts, phones you've seen in the wild, questions you have, problems you need solved, anything. You can send us in audio messages, you can send us in video messages, send us in pictures, screenshots, whatever you want. Email us at contact@androidfaithful. We want to hear from you. We need to fill back in the mailbox because it's a huge part of the show. So let's get right to it. Robert from Alaska writes in, and he says that I saw this on YouTube and thought Ron needed to see this. The Rug One Zever 7 Pro has a removable battery. Part of the back is swappable with new styles, and a bundle can include a charging dock that also stores another battery. I hope you get your hands on one. Keep up the great work, y'all. Robert from Alaska. I had not seen this. The Rug One, Rugone.
Or the Ragoni.
Ragoni. I like Ragoni better.
Rigoni.
Ragoni.
It's a Ragoni phone.
And I don't know if I'm pronouncing the Zever, Xever, Zever.
Zever.
Oh my God, Verzever.
Zever, the
The
Zever,
Ragoni Zever.
the Zever 7 Pro. This is their tagline for this phone. By the way, if you go to their website at ragoni.net, it's got a dude on skis. He's like obviously post ski jump, and he's holding his phone, and underneath it says Zever 7 Pro, swappable battery, forever powered. Like they're just leading with it. I love it. I love it. This phone, and then when they've got all the feature matrix below it, the biggest one is a picture of a swappable battery, comma, unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Hey, I remember when this was the norm.
Yep. So this sucker comes with a 6.67 inch, 120 hertz AMOLED screen. It's thin and tough. IP68 rating, IP69K, which I've never even heard of. MIL STD 810H. So it's got all the, this is a rugged phone. It features something called Torch X, which is like a flashlight at the top of the phone, which is great.
Yeah, it is.
It's got it's running Android
placement.
it's running Android 15. It's got a 5,550 milliamp battery, not a 5,551 milliamp battery, but a 5,550 milliamp battery.
See, they could have got me, but they lost me there.
It's got a thermal camera. It's got a 50 megapixel AI camera, 64 megapixel night vision camera, eSIM ready, and it comes with dual batteries and dual covers. This sucker is born for adventure. So if you are out there and you're skydiving or you're skiing or you're camping,
you guys, we gotta call this in. I'm sorry.
By the way, if you scroll down even more past the skydiver, right above the rugged there, it's got an exclusive camo edition.
Oh, it does. Look at that. That's tough.
And then it's also got custom edition, your rules, your vibe.
Print whatever you want on those battery cover things.
Custom battery covers are supported.
I want to review this phone.
So do I.
I really would like to.
So scrolling down even more on the website, it tells you just how rugged this sucker is. It's drop proof for 2 meters. It's got an absolute dust seal, not a so-so dust seal. It is absolute.
Absolute.
And it's got 2 meters for 30 minutes underwater dive ready. So you can take this sucker underwater. If you're doing Tough Mudder, if anybody still does that, take this phone. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, seriously. I'm doing something like that in a couple of months. Actually, so they should send this to me.
They should.
And I'll review it by wearing it through the Spartan challenge.
Go down to the night vision camera. Whoever wrote this website copy, I salute you. The 64 megapixel.
This is not AI. This is a person.
The 64 megapixel Vigil camera, unmask complete darkness. Forget the dark. Our 64 megapixel night vision camera isn't afraid of it.
Is that why it's called a Vigil camera? Because it's like
what's hidden in the shadows? Now you'll know.
Now you'll know.
Oh no, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to know.
This is fantastic. This phone is great. I love it. They can
sponsor.
How
much? How much?
How much does it sell? You can buy it now for where do you want to buy? At storerugoni.net for $659.99.
Just keeps going. I keep scrolling. It keeps going.
Go upper right hand corner. Hit the buy now button.
I know, but I'm just marveling at how
website,
much.
Yeah.
This website is
just.
amazing.
There's
a lot of information they need to get across in this website.
It really is.
I love. This is why I love Android, everybody. So thank you, Robert from Alaska, for sharing this with us. I also love that they're highlighting the fact that it's running Android 15. Yes. There's a whole section about running Android 15. Bravo. So
Android
15 was a great release. Android 16 was kind of.
Oh, by the way, the Zever 7 Pro will receive major Android OS updates up to Android 18. So they're committing up to Android 18
to 2.
So,
so just enough to last when natural disaster.
Oh wait,
there are some trade-offs.
At the bottom of the page, there's some clarity on Torch X. By the way, Torch X is your pro-grade flashlight instantly. Go light, go free, no extra gear needed. Whether it's a pitch-black campsite or an urgent night patrol or any moment darkness strikes, just one tap illuminates your path. Blasting up to 230 lumens of powerful light, it's always ready to provide reliable, clear illumination.
Yeah,
I do like those, but you can buy those. You can buy those really bright lumen flashlights in like a pack of 10 off AliExpress. If that's what we're talking about, getting these things.
Yeah, but it's not part of your phone. Unless you tape it to your phone or something.
What I love about
it's not. But
what I love about this
website, want to have?
If you keep on scrolling down, Jason, they're just highlighting everything. There's a whole section about NFC.
Yeah.
Right. Then there's a whole section about their IR blaster, and and the face unlock
Rarity these days.
a triple card slot, 2 SIM plus 1 micro SD card slot. They have a customer service app. This is great. This is quality you can trust.
Everything. It's everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is
the
fantastic.
everything phone.
I love Rug One. They're great.
No, the Rugoni.
No, the Rugoni.
Rugoni 7 Pro. Love it. Here, we only need to take 10 seconds for me to scroll back up to the top. Hold on.
Yeah,
1 second.
exactly.
No,
All right,
I'm
anyway,
still scrolling. Nope. Sorry. You can't talk until okay, now I'm at the top. There we go.
Thank you, Robert from Alaska. If you find any other weird phones, email us at contact@androidfaithful.com. That's going to wrap us up for tonight. Jason, take it away.
Yes, you are right, Ron. We are done with this episode of the Android Faithful podcast. But I'll throw it over to you, Flo. What do you want people to know about the Rugoni? No, what do you want people to know about you and where they can
I
find
want
your work?
you all to please make sure that you are signed up for Android Faithful's newsletter. Even if you do not read it on the web, you opening that email in your inbox helps me an absolute ton. Okay.
Yep.
For your friends, though, who are also into Android, you could tell them that all of my archives for the newsletter are available on the website of androidfaithful.com. More stuff is coming to the website in the coming months. So everybody, please stay tuned. Thank you so much for supporting us over there. And don't forget to also check out my other podcast on the Relay Network called Material, which I do with Andy and Nako every week. Relay.fm/material.
Fantastic podcast.
Hooray.
That's also been around a very long time.
Oh my God, yes.
One
Yes.
of the best.
It's rocking and rolling.
Yep.
Ron, what about you?
Head over to threads.com/RonXO and follow me because I'm still posting up a storm there. Having a great time over on that platform.
A storm.
It's a lot of fun.
You are doing quite well.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm starting to figure out the algorithm. I'm getting thousands and thousands of exchange. And actually, I posted on Threads about the new Scorbit release. If you scroll back up there, Jason, last week released the new app update for Scorbit. It's in the Google Play Store. Go check it out. Give it a rating and a review if you like it.
Sign in.
Yeah,
I was going to like it right now, but apparently I'm not signed in on this.
Thanks. If you like pinball, go to scorbit.io. Check it all out. It's what I'm working on all the time. So.
Love it. Scorbit.
Loves it.
Love it. As for me, I'll just point you right now to my YouTube channel at Jason Howell. I've got more glasses stuff coming. And then, I should also mention, like, my latest video is that personal intelligence video. So, you can get there from my main. I just realized now I need to replace it on my front player for people who go there because it's my latest video. I didn't do that. Anyways, that's the life of a YouTuber. And this is the life of the Android Faithful podcast. We do this show every Tuesday evening. Sometimes when we do this show, we also tease that we have a separate show called the After Hours Show. And that's where we talk about the stories that we didn't discuss from the patron votes earlier. So we've got those 2 stories about the minimalist
After we
phone.
turn down the lights.
After we turn down the lights, yes, if we have the ability to do that. Apparently, I'm on the Aya Neo handheld gaming device beat because I'm going to have another story there. Nothing has this crazy concept phone. How Nano Banana got its name. See, it's like a whole other show for patrons. Patreon.com/Android Faithful to get that after hours episode. But just go to AndroidFaithful.com and support us there. Read our stuff. Subscribe to the newsletter. Go to Patreon.com/Android Faithful to support us directly. Find us on all the socials individually and collectively. And thank you so much for being here with us yet another time. We will see you next week on another episode of Android Faithful. Bye, everybody.
I have to try not to go too hard in the outro because I could go harder.
Yeah, I could throw out my hip if I go too hard.
It's true.
All right, just checking in on some titles. OnePlus not dead yet. Honoring the iPhone Air. Is that a lens honor, or are you happy to see me? What?
Okay. Sorry. I'm 12.
That's a good one.
10,001 milliamp hours, a battery odyssey. 10,001 at a battery odyssey. I like
That's funny.
Scrobbling since 2004. Is it a phone or a superhero? Can your phone battery last Xever? And I appreciate that the person who submitted this is Skull Meat X. So,
Yeah.
the X is kind of a theme. Sponsorship opportunity. That was good. Credit to Scuttlefield for that. Reading the OnePlus Oppo tea leaves. All is not well in OnePlus land. Going to Best Buy for fun. Search cute. Inflation comes for the budget phone market. Phone sustainability versus inflation. Do or do not. There is no trifold warranty. Credit Scuttlefield.
I like that.
That's a good one.
Your next phone goes to 11. Credit SD Reelin. Thank you, Clinton, for all these
Yeah, I like the crediting folks.
You're
That's good.
intercepting them for people who don't know to throw the titles in. Realme is over 10,000. Choose your model wisely. And Nova Ad Launcher. Oof, ouch. That's big.
I feel like OnePlus not dead yet.
I agree.
OnePlus not dead yet? Question mark. OnePlus
Yeah.
not dead.
I feel like that's got to be the winner. Although
All right.
I do like
Done.
there is no trifold warranty. I do like that one too, though. But
Oof.
yeah, OnePlus
That's
goes. OnePlus does it.
Cool.
Cool.
That's it.
Cool.
All right.
And hey, we did a pretty on time show today. Love it.
Look at us. Go
Love it when
team.
it works out that way.
We're going to eat dinner soon.
Hooray.
Oh, we got dinner, but not until we do our other show, which is
Yes.
after hours.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Thanks for
Where we're
watching.
gonna go. We're gonna go here next. There you go. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us. You're all awesome. We're gonna end the stream now and go do our after hours thing.
Have a great week.
Bye.